I wasn't even really paying attention to the whole Johnny Manziel thing.
That's what I guess. I guess.
I mean, but I'm saying, Prev, a half a game. I mean, what? I'm gonna watch college football, but it almost makes me don't even want to watch. Like, how do I boycott watching college football? Like, it's just too many colleges to not watch. But they're really POing me right now, man, with this. I'm like, what the heck is that? I mean, why would you even consider a half a game? Like, what? I mean, was that Texas A&M? Was it NCAA?
They said it was an agreement between Texas A&M and the NCAA. They had an agreement. So I was like, what y'all do? Meet in the locker room?
You got to be real careful. You got to be careful about these agreements where you got to be careful about these agreements with NCAA and stuff.
Right.
Like with Penn State, how they agreed to what the NCAA was going to do to them. And, for the NCAA, what investigation? There was no investigation. They said, give it up, give up the money, give up the scholarships, or you're going to get the death penalty for a year. When it was not even it wasn't an athletic, it was a criminal issue. It wasn't even an athletic issue.
Yeah.
People are going to go on trial for this. People are going to go to jail for this. What does that have to do with the NCAA? I mean, granted, I'll say this though. I'm not really a defender of the NCAA, but every time the NCAA comes up in discussions, I think we do have to discuss both sides of it. And with the NCAA, for wrong, because there was no right to it, they were reacting to all the media saying, you have to do something, you have to do something. And somebody should have just said, no, this is not our jurisdiction. This is a criminal issue. We don't have to do anything. Instead, they just went down the same thing they did with Reggie Bush. They went down the same thing they did with the University of Miami.
But I'm saying, what premise did they have, or what was the reason to come to an agreement with a half a game with Texas A&M? I'm like,
I have no idea.
That's just a waste of time. If he did it,
right? If he did it, then he was wrong. He was dead wrong, and it violates all those rules and regulations they have in place. So go ahead and suspend him for some games. But
obviously, they didn't have any proof.
Okay, so then let that go.
Then let it go. Then let it go.
Now, here's what I'm thinking.
Now you've suspended him for half a game, and now rather than everybody hating you because they think you're always too involved with the schools, now everybody thinks you're a punk.
Right.
It's a half a game.
Really? Penn State.
But like she said, that's the first thing I thought about. I'm like,
really?
You got pressured to give up a half a game? I mean,
they couldn't have pressured you to give up a half a game.
That's what I'm saying. They did it and why did they do a half a game to make people quiet? That's just making people that much more. I would have rather, like she said, for them to say, okay, we don't have proof, and until we get definite proof of money exchanging or someone that's going to be willing to or somebody willing to testify, because that's what we've been talking about the last month. Is that they brought it up, but nobody's willing to go on record. Nobody's truly willing to go on the record to say this. So let it go. Let it go.
Right now.
Here's what I'm likely wrong, but I'm gonna throw this out there, saying that maybe the half a game came from Texas A&M.
Which, oh my goodness.
Well, no.
You might be right. Yeah.
You might be. Well, they said it was an agreement between the two, but that's my whole thing. A half a game, that's a mess that a university puts out to make it look good to the public. That's not what the governing body is supposed to do. You at least need to give them a game. I mean, they were playing Rice anyway, so it's not like they weren't going to lose without the quarterback there. They'd have been okay. They didn't really need him until, game 3 when they play Alabama?
Yeah. Well, here's really what we're talking about.
So you could have rolled it out for at least a game and make it look respectable. A half a game, really? Really?
Well, I mean,
that's like being put on punishment. Your mom going, you can't watch TV, but you come home and you're doing homework in front of the TV. Really? Come on.
I'm just saying, man. I was watching that, and then of course, Facebook is just blowing up. Cats are on social media. Everybody What about Reggie Bush? What about Terrell Pryor? What about AJ Green? What about Dez Bryant? I mean, it's like.
What about Dez Bryant?
I'm like, hey, look.
Because Dez Bryant is going to march on the NCAA. Because he's already said if he didn't get, suspended for some odd number of games.
Hey.
He was going to throw a fit.
Dez need to take that. But you know what? Dez need to take that up with Deion Sanders. Forget the NCAA. But,
yeah, Deion could have been
Deion knew what he was doing.
Deion could have been like, did I take that brother out to dinner? No, we didn't go to dinner. We just kind of
right.
We just kind of met in the same place, and I ate.
Met at my house.
I ate something, and he might have ate something. I don't know what he ate.
He might have ate something.
He might have ate something.
There.
Yeah. He might have had some water because it was a restaurant. So
right.
No, it was at Deion's house.
Nah,
he was at Deion's house.
But I thought they went to a restaurant too.
I thought it was two. It was two situations that merged together and was all bad.
And he didn't know that going. I think he knew. I think was one of them he lied about. I think he lied about the restaurant, but he didn't lie about the house.
He lied about the agent being there.
Okay.
Because he didn't know the agent was going to. Dez didn't know the agent. His story. Dez didn't know the agent was supposed to be there. Deion invited him over to his house and had his agent over there. Deion knows good and well he wasn't supposed to be doing that.
Yeah, just like Johnny didn't know 4,000 pieces of paraphernalia was going to be in his face, like just in his vicinity, and he had the pen and he just happened to touch all 4,000 of them with his signature.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't show up on Starbucks and
coffee. They stamped it. They had found a sheet of paper where he had signed his receipt. And they got a copy of that.
And they took it and put the imprint down.
They stamped the 4,000 pieces.
They do some CSI stuff and took the little spray and got the...
You watch it too, right?
Yeah, I got you there.
They found the receipt because you can rub on it. And then bam.
Bones, man, bones. That's when they did some old bone stuff. There you go.
The bubblegum DNA.
Oh my goodness, man.
See? And so Johnny had absolutely no idea. But to Johnny Manziel's credit, because apparently he was smarter than Dez Bryant, because Dez Bryant finally confessed. Johnny Manziel went Bill Clinton on us and was like, deny.
And
I did not have sex relations with that woman. He rolled that out.
I'm not mad at Johnny for no I'm not, that's the piece. I'm not hating on Johnny Manziel at all. Because if they let the beast out the cage and they let this cat run wild like he been running, like I said before, I would have loved for the coach to have gotten in front of this a little bit. But I think he realized it's kind of like that kid that was down in Mississippi playing basketball. Mississippi was nowhere on the map in basketball ever.
Well, that guy started running his mouth.
He started running his mouth, hitting threes, knocking down shots, scoring 30 points here, 30 points there. And and he was the only story they had in the tournament. And when he went cold, that was it. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen to Texas A&M. If Johnny Manziel goes cold, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. That program is going straight down. And I mean, it's a Texas program, so they're not going to be down forever. But
they had 2 back-to-back top 5 recruiting classes. I don't think it's going to be that bad. But
no, it's not going to be that bad. But remember,
the SEC West, though.
That's what I was about to say. You're not in the Big 12 anymore. You in the SEC West.
12.
They're playing with the big boys now.
Yep. The Big 12, yeah. And
the idea is to keep the other guy from scoring more than you.
So you want him to get a defense?
No, I'm just saying, and in the Big 12, it's like,
Big 12 shootout, boy. The straight spread
quarterback
shootout.
Quarterback got 400 yards before he finished tying his shoes.
Right. So, and what about, and I wish D was on here, man, another Urban Meyer story. You know what I'm talking about, right? Aaron Hernandez. Oh my God. But we knew this, though. We already had talked about him covering up stuff, man. But I'm listening to the story like, really?
Okay, but come on. Did we really think he had covered up that much? I mean,
drug test? I can believe a drug test. I can believe he covered that because
Covering up a drive-by?
I don't know. Okay, now drive-by. No.
I mean,
wow,
are you covering up? You really covering up the murders? I mean, come on.
Deep.
I'm gonna give Urban Meyer a pass on that. Like I'm gonna say he didn't know. I'm gonna say he didn't know.
Drive-by doesn't mean he actually hit anything.
But I mean, golly, man, I was like, what? Aaron Hernandez was hitting it on the way out the stadium. He was taking it in.
I read today, Aaron Hernandez killed Cyrus at the beginning of the Warriors.
Oh my goodness, man!
This dude, they were like he was doing PCP last season.
Yeah,
they said he was doing a little bit of everything.
I know he was
rolling them up. He was rolling them up. Yeah.
Okay, so but this is last season. So was there did the Patriots just not get drug tested at all?
You know, that's why they said. That's why
somebody else could have pissed for him easily.
Yeah.
Could have pissed for him.
I mean, yeah. Somebody could have let it. Somebody could have.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna make a statement on this one though, because I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a Belichick apologist or anything like that. But people are kind of going overboard. So they need to reevaluate their due characters. And that.
I'm with you.
No. I'm gonna drop a name. Hold on. I'm gonna drop a name. Sam Hurd. See, you know what I'm talking about?
I believe so.
Okay, Sam Hurd, backup, third string, number 3, slot.
Yeah. Okay.
Cowboys and the Bears.
Yeah. Okay.
Sam Hurd, winner of the Ed Block Courage Award, Bible study leader in both Dallas and Chicago, all around good guy, right up to the point where he tried to try to buy enough cocaine from a federal agent to purchase a small country.
Wow.
That's Sam Hurd.
That
guy?
Yeah, that guy.
So everybody's going to sit here and say, oh, they should have known. Come on. Really?
You don't know. Things you just don't know.
Dude,
you're not going to know.
It so turns out that this dude was connected with one of the biggest drug gangs on the entire West Coast. All this, and nobody knew it.
Hey, you wouldn't have known until someone got knocked off. I mean, think about it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I tell people.
Well,
a lot of times
they were raising gangsters in Bristol, Connecticut.
That's the reason why we didn't know.
My understanding is that Bristol is kind of rough, but I ain't never been there.
I think ESPN is on a hill, right? It's on a hill. You saw Drew Brees. Drew Brees had trouble getting in the gate. The gate is narrow.
Oh, the gate is narrow.
That's why they try to keep them gangsters out.
I mean, but really?
You were showing the ID at the gate. It's me.
Drew Brees.
Retinal scan.
Who knew?
Right. Oh, Dion with eyes.
I'm talking about the retinal scan.
Oh, the retinal scan. There it is. Right.
Yeah. That's true. Let him in.
I mean, who knew?
Oh no, you can't predict that. You can't guess that. But I will say this. There are situations, this, Prev, you too, Lonice, at your job, or just certain people, that even when you don't associate with them, you can still sense something about them is different. Not necessarily something bad, but just something is different. Like they're just doing something a little bit different than everybody else is doing. And they kind of said,
that'll come in and you're like, they're the one that could come in and kill everybody in the office.
Something like that. Remember, Prev, when we was in school and we had that older guy that used to come in. Remember one day, I don't remember, but he came in one day and dropped the briefcase off, and everybody got up, and everybody in the back of the room got up and walked out. I was like, no. They was like, where you going? I said, I don't know what's in that briefcase, but I'm not staying here because he's been very different since we've been in school, and so.
Yeah, so I'm not look like us, talk like us, act like us.
Like
us, none of it.
If he's been leaving and not hanging out and all that, we got they talked about the whole Kobe, not hanging out with Shaq and those boys back in the day. I'm not going to get on Kobe. I'm not going to get on Aaron Hernandez. But at the same time, I'm not going to be that surprised that he's turned out to be what he is because, that fits the profile. I mean, they go off on their own little ways and do their own little thing. You saw what happened to Kobe. You saw what happened to Kobe early on.
Yeah. Okay, but Kobe didn't turn out to be a killer.
He didn't turn out to be a killer, but he did wind up in that girl's bedroom for no
reason. Yeah, he did turn out to be a predator.
Yeah, and wound up in that girl's bedroom.
Well, now wait, she was legal.
I don't care about her being legal. He was
no,
there.
No, because Prev said he was a predator.
Okay.
Okay. Take that off. Take that
back, Prev.
Take it back.
He was legal.
But he was there. Do you see what he got at home?
He didn't take no for an answer.
You see what he got at the house?
Well, now see,
and he went to that.
Hey,
that's what happens when you don't hang out with the norm. There you go, Reckner. Scan that thing in.
Yeah, that was the Dion.
That's what I'm about to say. So Aaron Hernandez, go off and okay, boom. But I'm like, you mean to tell me nobody saw him drive off rolling one up? I mean, usually they don't wait till they get clear. Usually they gotta have it all rolled up, ready to go, so they can have one hand here and one hand there. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
so nobody
knows about that. That's what I'm saying. You can't do that on the go.
I think the reason why people are like the Patriots should have known more, they need to be better about their character and stuff is because, he had character issue questions when he was drafted. And then they just gave him the ginormous contract.
Right.
And Kraft had, given him this whole, this guy here is turned out to be like this wonderful model citizen. He's phenomenal. And he's great.
When you say Prev, it's like a son.
Like a son. I'm going to let him marry my daughter. I mean, all of that. He gave the full litany of what you want in character reference. And not even 6 months later, it was like, oh my God, he destroyed his cell phone, the SIM card's missing. Oh, and he didn't turn off the video until after he got back from doing the murder.
Robert Kraft needs to stop. Robert Kraft needs to stop endorsing people. He's endorsing Hernandez, and then he got Tim Tebow. He's his son too. How many sons this man got? I mean, come on.
Now we need to question his character because he's been tipping around, is what you're saying, because he got a lot of kids.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying he
the owner.
He taking in too many of them because anyway.
Which is strange because the Patriots used to be like one of the teams. They always had the players, the Patriots, the Eagles had teams with the highest amount of college graduates on their teams. Good character, all of that stuff.
And I do believe was a college graduate.
That's an interesting stat.
It is because they were actually doing the stat at the time. They were going through all the teams that were, doing really well, winning streaks, high records, always making the playoffs, always getting into the Super Bowl, winning all that stuff. And that was when we were making the NFC Championship every year, but not winning, except for that one time. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter.
We're not judging.
I'm not bitter.
I'm not judging.
During all of that period, the high life, the good years, all of those teams that were on those long winning streaks, runs, and all of that stuff and success, they had the highest amount of college graduates, folks married with kids, stability, all of that good stuff. No issues. And then all of a sudden, Andy Reid's kids were like having a meth lab in the house. And
I forgot about that.
And now the Patriots, allegedly, because we have to say allegedly, might have
that's for dollar right there.
Killer on their team.
Allegedly. Yeah, man.
Apparently, gum and guns are turning up all around Aaron Hernandez. I don't understand.
I'm.
You don't. He's just a believer in the Second Amendment. That's all.
That's it.
The right, really.
And they still haven't found a murder weapon.
They still ain't found it.
They still ain't found that murder.
But didn't they find the murder weapon to the double homicide that they were investigating in the chick's car like 2 weeks ago?
I haven't been paying attention to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. Well, let me bring you up.
No, Hernandez overtime right there.
I'm about to say that's
because now this sounds like some mess. I said this doesn't even sound right, but okay.
They must have been talking about that on the Al Jazeera or something.
No. No. It was on the news. I was driving to work one morning. It was on the radio news. because this chick had an accident, but they were investigating him for double homicide like 2 years ago or something like that. They were trying to link all this together now.
Mm-hmm.
Chick had an accident like 2 weeks ago. During the search of the car, the police were out, whatnot. They found a gun in one of the chick's cars.
Okay.
That has been linked to the double homicide that they were investigating Aaron Hernandez for.
Oh,
so he learned his lesson. Get rid of the weapon.
No, because the story is completely bogus. Like, her story is she took some NFL players for a ride somewhere. They left the gun in her car. But it was like 2 years ago.
Oh, so the gun has been in her car for 2 years.
Right, and you didn't know.
She never came back for it.
No, she kind of watched around that. She thought it was something, I don't know. She never cleaned her car.
She was she never
cleaned her car.
I mean, that's a very big piece of lint. Never got sucked up. I mean, it just stayed,
Yeah, that's
you never bumped
big,
into
heavy
it.
Piece of lint.
Nah, come on now.
Okay.
Look,
Bumping into something
that's
that's shiny and heavy.
I got kids.
Come on now.
But ma'am, that's your story to the cops. 2 years ago, you had football players in the car. You took them somewhere. They left that in your car.
And it was 2 years ago. That was actually, she did say that.
You never came back for it.
That's not smart.
2 years ago?
That's probably why he was with her.
Never came back for it.
That's probably why he was with her. That wasn't smart.
Ride or die.
Ride or die. Well, no, she is not the ride or die, because the ride or die would have got rid of the gun 2 years ago. I mean,
he might have wanted it back.
Or, because here's what I'm thinking. Maybe you're trying to get rid of the gun now and be the ride or die, but the ride or die shouldn't be in an accident with said weapon in the car.
Right.
Well, that's part of riding.
Hey, real quick. Does Tim Tebow make the roster?
Oh.
Do y'all care if he makes the roster? I just want to know.
Of course I care.
Okay, well, Prev, you're the only one. Let me be honest, you're the only one that cares.
Man.
I gotta be honest, I don't care if he makes the roster.
I actually care, because if he makes the roster, it's gonna be a travesty. It's gonna be a travesty. He's not playing tight end. He's not gonna play tight end. First of all, what makes you think he's gonna be a good tight end?
It would be awesome if he made the roster to play tight end, but if he makes the roster to play quarterback, that is a tragedy.
He's a football player.
But who says he's a good tight end? Y'all acting like.
But let's try it.
There's tight ends out here to be picked up.
But Pete, let's try it, because he's not a good quarterback. So
why are we trying? This is professional football. You should know what this man can do. If he makes that roster playing tight end, and he hasn't played tight end all preseason.
He hasn't played quarterback all preseason either. But
he was out there. He was out there.
He was participating.
And he took it underneath the center. You're right. He wasn't playing quarterback.
Okay, thank you.
You know what? Because he's a football player.
He's a football player, and he's a very good kid. Very high character, fun to be around.
I'll tell you what,
great in the locker room.
You know who'd like to have him right now? Let him get cut, because he'd be a Jet again tomorrow.
I have no words for that. I can't even deny it.
I got plenty.
I can't say. I mean, I
can't even say it's false.
I mean,
but if he was, he risked going out there in the fourth preseason game with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Well, where's Jason Campbell? Can't they get Jason Campbell?
He's still backing up Cutler still.
Oh, is he?
No, Cleveland. No, in Cleveland.
He's
in Cleveland now?
Yeah, he's behind Weezy.
When did he go to Cleveland?
After the Bears cut him.
Oh, the Bears cut him? Look, see, you know more than I do.
Jason Campbell's still out there. He's still doing his thing. He's doing exactly what he needed to do.
Backup?
Make that backup money.
Yeah. Good job.
Like I said, Jim Sorgi is a millionaire. Being a backup quarterback. I'm just saying, he went from Peyton Manning to Eli Manning. He is like,
what he does is love the Manning family,
and he knows knows his role. But
you are only as good as your backup quarterback. I'm not even mad.
And that's why Tebow better not make that roster as a quarterback.
Well, he would be the number 3.
Well, Ryan Mallett has to get into limp accident or something first.
Ryan Mallett?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, I mean, No, who was watching Saturday with the Jets? I was actually watching the game when that happened.
Me too. I didn't see that. I was
didn't
watching.
intend to watch the game, but it was on.
I stopped watching. I had some folks over, and We were watching it, but we really weren't watching it. And then,
I had folks over, and that game came on. They should have left.
And then we looked up, and then, we were eating, man. We had some good food. But yeah, I saw Gino throwing them picks. We was in here cracking up. And then next thing you know, somebody was like, Sanchez got hurt. I was like, what? They yelled it out. Everybody ran back inside. He got hurt.
Because everybody's like, why is Sanchez in the game? No, what was priceless, have you seen the commentary on NFL Network?
From LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yes, when he kept going.
That.
No, the night that it happened, live, they had the interview of Rex Ryan. It was LaDainian Tomlinson and I can't remember who was up there with LaDainian.
Was it Dion or was it?
No, it was.
Sapp? Was it Sapp? Kurt Warner?
No, I think it was Kurt Warner
and LaDainian.
It was Kurt Warner and LaDainian and having a miscellaneous reporter.
I'm gonna look it up.
Kurt, he's only cursed once in his entire life.
Yes.
And that was it?
No.
He was close.
Cursing for a second.
Are you serious?
Yes. Because the level of disgust from those two dudes.
Oh my God.
It was so high.
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh. Wait, and then, because they just kept going.
Kurt Warner, wait a minute.
Why are you in there? And Kurt Warner, he had slapped the desk and everything. He was just like, I don't even know why he's in there. He was disgusted. That's my boy Kurt. I was like, I said, is Kurt Warner about to drop the F-bomb on national television?
Kurt Warner, man.
Kurt was.
That's my dude, man.
He was about to take his tie off.
Are you serious?
Oh, he was livid. LaDainian Tomlinson too. LaDainian was the same way. He said it just doesn't make any sense.
Well,
and then when
LaDainian was so mad he started using correct English.
And the thing is, LaDainian Thomason's got a little bit more of a personal connection to it. The fact that he was there a couple years ago. So,
yes.
But wait a minute, back to Kurt, man. Kurt, my dude, man. Kurt was about to go off.
He turned Cardinal jersey red.
Oh my God! I gotta look that up.
Cardinal jersey red. But but you need to watch the whole thing because they had their initial reactions, and then they went to Rex Ryan's post-game interview. Rex started his meltdown and started turning his back on the media and stuff.
I'm sorry.
Yes. And so they go back and they're like, so, well, what do you guys think of his explanation? Kurt Warner said, that doesn't even make any sense. What's he doing? So
man, my boy Kurt about lost it. Oh, that's my dude, man.
He was 2 seconds from a full-blown meltdown. And LaDainian Tomlinson was just like, this just doesn't make any sense. And I was there, and I know Rex Ryan. He's like, Rex Ryan's a good coach. He's a nice guy. No, he looks like an idiot right now. You look.
He might be a nice guy, but he's not a good coach.
I know, right?
Who doesn't like Kurt Warner? Who doesn't like Kurt Warner, man? Kurt Warner out here about to flip out.
Some dudes are meant to be coordinators, not head coaches. Norv Turner, great offensive coordinator, sucks as a head coach every time.
Buddy Ryan,
hey, like Buddy.
So?
Like Buddy.
Good coordinator.
Randall Cunningham years. Like Buddy Ryan.
Don't keep jumping on the Philly fan like that, man.
Hey. Like Buddy Ryan with Randall Cunningham.
He's in Arizona, too.
He put together a solid defense.
He had a solid defense in Arizona.
He had a solid defense in Houston.
He did.
Back in the day.
But in Houston, that's when he had his meltdown and they got to fight on the sidelines.
But Kevin Gilbride.
Oh, man. All right, one last laugh on Kurt Warner, man. Kurt Warner, baby. I know. I don't think I need to. Oh my God. I couldn't take. That's like one of the fewest. That's one of the last people I would think on TV will just flip out like that. Oh, Kurt Warner, my dude.
Hot. And again, he has slapped down on the podium and everything. It makes no sense. There's no reason to put your quarterback. And I don't care what anybody says, he's their only option to win this year. There's no reason to put him in there. He was hot.
Oh my goodness, man.
Kurt Warner,
that's good stuff right there. That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff right there. I'm gonna have to get that
Kurt
one up.
Warner was so disgusted. I was really like, he's really about to cuss a lot on national television. He's about to cuss a lot. Not just once, but he was about to go in. Like, it's something he does all the time.
Okay, all right, man, I'm good. Y'all are killing me. I'm done. I can't say no more.
Seen that,
no,
Pete.
I did not see it.
Oh my goodness.
He said
playing spades during preseason football.
No, man, I was cooking. I was still cooking in drink.
Have you seen the preseason with Brian Urlacher and Randy Moss? Speaking of people that should not be in front of cameras talking.
Who let them on TV?
On Fox. They have been doing. What the heck? They've been doing the Fox.
I'm about to cuss. What?
They have been doing the pregame shows and in-studio stuff. I'm assuming Howie and Michael Strahan and the coach and everybody is on vacation.
Where? I am not watching enough TV these days.
It's Kurt Menefee, Randy
Right,
Moss.
I don't like preseason football.
Randy Moss,
Brian Urlacher, and who is the other clown? Some other guys up there. And there's like two other random dudes, but Randy Moss and Brian Urlacher. Jiminy Crickets.
Oh.
Jiminy Crickets.
Goofy.
Awful. Absolutely awful. First of all, Brian Urlacher, the entire time he's talking, has his paper on the desk and is like this the whole time. And yes, and the defense is not, and then the defense, and it's like somebody, it's almost as if somebody kicks him underneath the table.
Prev, that's your
and
boy.
He'll look up. Like, it's almost like Randy Moss will kick him under the table and go, "You need to look at the camera, guy." And so he'll go, "Yes," and the defense is terrible, and then you'll see, and oh yes, and so and then he'll look back down and start reading. I'm like, really? Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, Randy Moss from West Virginia, that cat.
That cat jump with me, boy.
Straight cash, homie.
And he said, and because they were actually talking about it the other day. What game it was? Whatever preseason game was on Sunday, because I looked at, I said, what in the world?
Get your 84 jerseys out.
And dudes, because Randy Moss actually said, he said, people have been really critiquing us and everything, talking about how bad we are. Even my daughter the other day sent me a text message and said, Dad, you have bad posture on TV.
Oh, who let them cats in, man? What is going on?
Do they have their own network? I mean,
oh my God! You know what? They on there with your boy. What was your boy? Jim Rome. They on this probably say with Jim Rome, ain't they?
Now, and Randy Moss has his own. He's going to be co-hosting one of the Fox One shows or something. With, oh my gosh, what is that guy's name? He talks football all the time, but he never played football.
Know what channel.
Because at first I was thinking, I said, did they replace Howie Long with these guys?
Hey, Howie costs a lot of money.
I don't even know.
I mean, yeah, it costs a lot of money to keep that same haircut for the last 20 years.
Hey, I like Howie Long.
I like Howie too, but that thing is
a crisp flat top.
That thing is straight Terminator, boy. That thing.
Hey, look. Howie, let's think about this. I want y'all to remember this. Howie lived in Charlottesville. So You got to be a bad man to find a barber in Charlottesville that can maintain that cut.
I mean, I'm saying, man, that thing is like straight cartoonish type cut, man.
You can set your clock to it.
That thing is straight cartoonish. You know, cartoon, they got the same haircut, man. Come on, you never watch Scooby Doo and ask why they wear the same clothes every day?
I just thought they washed a lot.
Man.
That's a lot of laundry.
Oh man. Well, shoot, I'm about to hit this bed. Go to sleep.
Yeah, likewise.
All right. Well, I will
Absolutely.
catch up with y'all another time. Peace out.
All right,
Have a
man.
good one.
Good night.
Good night.